Hello and welcome back to your favorite cloud learning channel. If you are studying for AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate Certification, you know that Amazon S3 is a critical topic. It's not just a simple storage service. You need to understand how to optimize it for performance and how to efficiently retrieve your data. This video is part of the AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate Certification Bootcamp. In this video, we'll dive deep into three key features that are essential for the certification and for building real-world solutions. We will cover S3 baseline performance, byte-range fetches, transfer acceleration, and multi-part upload. By end of this video, you will know how to handle high traffic volume and large files like a pro. On behalf of the Cloud Expert Solutions team, I would like to thank you for joining us and selecting this bootcamp. Let's get started. Before we jump into the details, let's set the stage. S3 is the backbone for many applications from data lakes to web hosting, and understanding its performance characteristic is key to designing resilient and cost-effective solution. Plus, it's a guaranteed topic on your certification exam. We'll start with S3's baseline performance. S3 is incredibly scalable, and this feature comes out of the box. S3 offers a very low latency, typically between 100 to 200 milliseconds for object retrieval, and the magic, however, is in how it handles requests. S3 can automatically scale to handle thousands of requests per second. It can support up to 3500 put, copy, post or delete requests and 5500 get or head requests per prefix per second. We have already reviewed prefix at module 4.0 of this bootcamp series. If you are not familiar about S3 prefix, please refer that video. You can retrieve objects from multiple S3 prefix in parallel, and every prefix will provide the same baseline performance. There is no limit on the number of prefix you can have in your S3 bucket. The key takeaway for the exam is to increase your request rate, you must distribute your objects across multiple prefixes. This will allow S3 to partition your data and scale your performance horizontally. S3 baseline performance is helpful when you have multiple smaller sized files. What if you have a single very large file to download, or you need a small chunk from a large file? That is where S3 Byte-Range Fetches comes in. This feature allows you to request only a specific range of bytes from an object. For example, if you have a 10 GB file and you only need the first 100 MB, then you can use S3 Byte-Range Fetches to request just that portion. And why is this useful? You can parallelize downloads by fetching different parts of a large file simultaneously, which will significantly speed up the overall process. If a download is interrupted, you only need to resume the download for that failed part, not the whole file. It's perfect for applications like video streaming, where you can start playing the file while the rest is still downloading. For the certification exam, watch for terminologies like range HTTP header in your S3 GET object request. That's a good hint towards S3 Byte-Range Fetches. Now the flip side of download is uploading. For very large objects, you should use multi-part upload. Please don't get confused with these terminologies. Fetch means get. Use this analogy. And byte-range fetches, that means you are optimizing download, whereas multi-part upload, the upload is there in the terminology, is used for uploading. With this feature, you can split your large file into smaller parts and upload each part independently and often in parallel. Then Amazon S3 reassembles them into a completed object once the parts are uploaded into S3. Multi-part upload is required for objects larger than 5 GB and AWS recommends for objects larger than 100 MB. In terms of benefits, since the upload happens in parallel, this is going to increase the throughput. You have the ability to pause and resume any uploads. Since retries only require re-uploading the failed part, by this way you can implement error recovery. During the certification, a question is hinting at multi-part upload when the focus is on handling a single very large object, typically more than 500 GB, and especially if network instability is a concern. Now let's review S3 transfer acceleration. What if your users are spread all over the globe, but your S3 bucket is in a single region? Then network latency can be a major issue. S3 transfer acceleration solves this by using globally distributed edge locations to speed up the file transfer process, and this works both for upload and download. This is a very critical distinction between multi-part upload and transfer acceleration. Multi-part upload does not work for downloading file. However, S3 transfer acceleration works both for uploads and downloads. When you enable this feature on your S3 bucket, your users upload the files to nearest edge location. From there, the data travels over AWS's high-speed private backbone network to your Amazon S3 bucket. Now let's understand the benefit. This feature drastically reduces latency and the impact of a variable internet connection, especially for users located far away from the bucket. And please remember, S3 transfer acceleration you need to enable explicitly. However, you do not need to enable S3 transfer acceleration unless you are experiencing slow transfer speed due to long distance uploads or network congestion. This feature incurs extra cost and it is beneficial for specific use cases only. Now let's review when to enable S3 transfer acceleration. First, when you are uploading or downloading files to or from a bucket which is located far away from the bucket's region, or when your internet connection is slow or congested, or maybe if you have a mobile or web application and your users are globally distributed and you want to provide a better user experience for uploads from users located far away from the bucket's region, then you should think of enabling transfer acceleration. However, you might not need to enable transfer acceleration if your users are in close proximity. That means transferring data between a client and a bucket in the same AWS region, which is typically very fast, or if you have small files, or maybe your application is sensitive for cost, or if you are not experiencing slow transfer speed, then there is no need to enable transfer acceleration. That wraps up this module. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more AWS exam preparation courses and cloud certification bootcamps. Got questions or feedback? Drop them in the comment. We love to hear from you. Thanks for learning with us at Cloud Expert Solutions. You are now one step closer to crushing your exam. See you in the next module.